So let's talk about a story. It's a story that starts with something really small, a broken-down motorcycle on the side of a road. But it quickly expands to mirror a much, much larger crisis happening on a planetary scale. This is a journey from a personal breakdown to a global blueprint for what comes next.
To really get this, we have to start with a guy named Duane and a moment he calls his Symphony of Awakening. It's this powerful scene that just perfectly captures how a single, personal problem can suddenly make a massive, global issue feel incredibly real.
Okay, so picture this. It's July of 2014. We're in the incredible, majestic Glacier National Park. Duane is on his motorcycle, just taking it all in. You know, the turquoise lakes, the crisp mountain air, when all of a sudden, his engine just sputters and dies. He's broken down.
So there he is, standing on the side of the road, and a park ranger walks up. But you know, the ranger doesn't seem to care about the bike. Instead, he just points up at these magnificent glaciers and says something pretty chillin'. Take a good look, because in 20 years, they'll be gone. And just like that, a simple mechanical problem gets connected to a much, much bigger story.
The spluttering motorcycle, it became this perfect metaphor, right? His own personal breakdown was happening at the exact same time in the exact same place as this much larger planetary breakdown. That single moment is really the key to understanding everything we're about to dive into.
Okay, so let's zoom out from that moment on the road. We've all heard that phrase, the elephant in the room, right? But what happens when that elephant gets so big that it doesn't fit in just one room anymore? What if it's everywhere?
Well, this is how that idea scales up. You know, the personal elephant in the room, that might be a private health scare or some financial trouble you don't talk about. But the global elephant, that's a sick planet. That's a fracturing ecosystem. The big secret isn't personal anymore. It's a shared crisis that affects every single one of us. And this bigger global problem, it actually has a name. It's called the Metacrisis. Now, the key thing to get here is that it's not just one issue, like climate change or pollution. It's the way all of these problems are interacting with each other. It's the entire system being at risk.
And right at the heart of this metacrisis is something called ecological overshoot. And honestly, it's pretty simple. It just means that we as humanity are using up resources faster than the Earth can regrow them in a given year. We're spending way more than our planetary budget allows.
Ecologist William E. Rees puts it, well, pretty bluntly. This quote gets right to the point. It's not some abstract theory we're talking about. He's saying we are physically destroying the very foundation we need to survive. It's a heavy thought, for sure.
Here's another way to think about it. It's like, for decades, we've been living on this cosmic credit card, just racking up debt against the planet's natural capital. But, just like any other credit card, eventually, the bill comes due.
So all of this big world-level stuff, how does it actually feel day to day? This next part is all about the real, emotional toll these huge planetary shifts can take on us as individuals.
Let me ask you kind of a strange question. Have you ever felt homesick, but while you were still at home? Like you look around your own neighborhood, a place you've known forever, and you just feel this sense of loss, like it's changing into something you don't recognize anymore.
Well, turns out there's a word for that feeling. It's called solastalgia. It's not nostalgia, that's when you miss a place you've left behind. Solastalgia is that unique grief you feel for a place that's changing right in front of your eyes. You haven't gone anywhere, but home is starting to feel different.
Facing all of this can feel, frankly, completely overwhelming. So where do we possibly go from here? Well, this leads to a really crucial pivot in thinking. A shift away from that very individual, fix-yourself model of self-help and towards something much more collective, systems health.
This one sentence says it all. It's the engine driving this entire shift. Think about it. It totally challenges the idea that we can find personal wellness and peace while ignoring the health of the world around us. It turns out, saving yourself and healing the world might just be the same thing.
So here's what that looks like in practice. The old self-help model was all about sharpening your own axe to compete better in a system that's kind of broken. But this new idea, systems health, asks a totally different question. How can you use your unique gifts to make your community stronger and more resilient, right where you are? And doing that local work really starts with understanding your bioregion. This isn't about state lines or country borders. Think of it as your life place. It's defined by nature itself, by the flow of water, the local climate, the plants and animals that call it home. It's the real, tangible neighborhood where we can actually start to make a difference. Now, I know this can all sound pretty heavy, but this isn't a story about despair. Not at all. Instead, this can be seen as a blueprint for building something new, for starting a new kind of voyage. It's about building lifeboats instead of just, rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic.
And that work, building those lifeboats, it doesn't have to be this grim, joyless chore. Activist Valerie Kaur says that choosing to find and feel joy is actually a revolutionary act. It's what reminds us of what's beautiful and good and worth fighting for. And frankly, it's what gives us the energy to do the hard work ahead.
So, you might be asking, okay, great, what's the first step? Well, it's actually really simple and concrete. There's a resource out there called the Bioregional Explorer's Logbook. The very first action is to download it, read the intro, and then just sit with one really powerful question.
And this is the question. If the Titanic is sinking, what is the one unique gift you're bringing to the lifeboat? It changes everything, doesn't it? It's not about blame or despair anymore. It's about contribution. It asks you to look inside yourself to find the strength that you can then offer to everyone else. So, what is the unique skill, the passion, the gift that you, and only you, can bring on this journey with all of us?
We have built our world on a high-stakes assumption that our industrial momentum is as unsinkable as the steel hulls we once set into the Atlantic. But the elephant in the room has grown too large to ignore, moving out of our private shadows and into the center of our lives. This is the Metacrisis, the tipping point where the stories of endless growth collide with the physical limits of our planet. The Lifeboat Mini Course is your immediate, structured transition, a free 5-day journey delivered to your inbox to transform global anxiety into local resilience. Day 1 begins with an audit of the invisible, the energy and water systems you rely on every hour, yet rarely ever see. Day 2 forces a change in your geographical lens, challenging you to locate your true home within your watershed and local bioregion. You won't navigate this terrain alone. You will receive daily study guides and synthesized patterns designed to cut through the noise and reveal the architecture of change. Day 3 asks you to practice active hope in a world facing ecological overshoot. Day 4 introduces the demanding standard of revolutionary love. By tracing the water back to your neighbor's tap, you move beyond the narrow walls of self-help and into the expansive, interconnected practice of systems health. The climax arrives on Day 5 with the introduction of a specific framework for your future, the 9x21 harvest. Who is your mutual guiding spirit in this transition, and which 9 things will you choose to do? Stop waiting for the headlines to crush you. Sign up for the Lifeboat Mini Course now. Access your Day 1 materials immediately and join the community hub where the next story of our world is already being written. You can remain tied to the illusion of a collapsing global credit card, or take this course to begin building real systems health today. The Earth is tired of the lie. It is time to dance with the truth.